It's time for IP in the news, and the topic tonight is
Bunny murder.
bunny murder. Well, tell us what happened.
So, for those of you who don't know Lindt and Lidl, the difference. So there's Lindt chocolates, Lindt. They're a Swiss chocolate,
and they're really good too.
and they're delicious. And then there's Lidl, a German company, Lidl. So Lindt makes holiday themed chocolates wrapped in foil. So they had these bunnies for Easter. They're like maybe 2.5 inches tall. I know because we get them, and they're wrapped in gold.
I always eat the head off of my bunny first when I get it.
They're wrapped in gold foil, and the gold foil has like a little face on the outside and a ribbon around its neck. It's adorable, like perfect for kids or adults. Anyway, Lidl, Lidl, decided that they were going to make something very similar. And so they wrapped their little chocolate bunnies in gold. They put a green bow around it, but it had a little face on it and whiskers. So they kind of look the same, but kind of different. I think on first glance, they look the same.
Lindt in Switzerland, where they take their chocolate very seriously, decided to sue Lidl for copyright and trademark infringement. And the case went all the way up to the Swiss Supreme Court. And what was the outcome?
So the ruling on it was either trademark or copyright. We're getting both in the articles we're looking at. But it says this one says ruling on trademark case suggests German retailer could melt down and reuse the offending rabbits.
Right. So the court ordered that the chocolate bunnies be melted down, which is bunny slaughter, I think. And I'm not sure it's bunny genocide. I don't know what they call it, but I guess they take their chocolate in Switzerland pretty seriously here. And if you're a chocolate infringer, then watch out.
So I think the important thing here too, though, is that first of all, it was just in Switzerland, so that the ruling was a Swiss court, so they could probably sell.
And it was a Swiss company too. Yeah, so just think about that for a minute.
But they did not look exactly the same.
Right.
They were different a little bit.
And the pictures I've seen about the bunnies are really they're similar in some ways, but they're different shapes, the different shades of gold foil. The bunnies had little bow ties. They had different bow ties. So, I mean, I would be able to tell the difference.
So a lot of these like trademark cases, especially, is likelihood of confusion, right?
Right. But how many different ways can you shape a bunny?
Well, that's true. So I think it was the gold foil that got him.
Anyway, I think it's time for our guest to chime in on this. So Marcy, welcome to the show. And
so great to be here.
Yeah. And so tell us your opinion on this bunny genocide.
Well, first of all, I'd say that Lindt is a brand that we all recognize. And I certainly would know the difference between the bunnies, but I do understand that, they want to protect their brand, and they have come up with this original idea and this beautiful gold wrapping and something that's been very appealing and we are all used to. And so then for another company to come along and say, hey, that looks pretty good, let's try it, we'll change some of these things, it is creating the confusion. And so someone may not really be paying attention and grab the other bunny. So, being that I have a product that's going to be coming out, I think about those things. Somebody changes something and then now they're passing off their product to do the same thing that mine does. So I think it's good that they took them to court. And I don't know about melting all the bunnies. Maybe something could have been done for those bunnies less fortunate, if they had to do that. But, that's my feeling. I think that, we need to protect our own brands, and Lindt has a brand and an incredible one, and good for them.
I agree. And I think too, that what if the little chocolate tastes terrible? I mean, and people think it's Lindt chocolate.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. That's what can happen too.
Yeah, well, that's why they have the laws and the copyright and the trademark laws to protect people who feel like they're being infringed. So That was a great comment. Todd, what are your thoughts?
Oh, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's a very interesting case and very tasty case at that.
I wonder if the
and-
judges like had to sample the chocolate during the
They-
proceeding.
They definitely bit the ears off of all the chocolates before they melted it down. But before you melt these down,
Oh,
gotta
that's
bite the ears off.
no, that sounds kind of unsanitary. But
That
anyway,
wouldn't, yeah,
please
that wouldn't,
continue.
that wouldn't pass. Well, who framed Roger Rabbit anyway? I don't know. I thought Switzerland was neutral, and it's just
Not when it comes to chocolate.
that's it. That's where they draw the line there.
That's where they draw the line. So, well, that's good. Well, we appreciate that. So, does this sound like a just decision, or
you really have to look at all the details of the case, but I know that implication has a lot to do with trademarks, and the trademark laws do vary from country to country. But sometimes even if like you try to spell like a name differently, but it sounds the same, like if you have like, cat, but you spell it with a K, in some countries, that's enough to constitute that it would be still using that same name because it would phonetically sound the same.
Right.
And then yeah, I think that if it's implied that you're that it's the same type of product, because Lindt could change their packaging over the years a little bit too, right? They might change their logo slightly with the styling to keep up with the times and current trends, and so someone might think this is that. So I think it's that possibility of the implication.
Right, and you hit on something there too, which is part of the definition of trademark infringement is similarity in sight, sound, and meaning. So they look at those elements when a court is trying to decide if there's an infringement. And what's interesting here is I'm not surprised at the decision, but there's a difference between the decision and the remedy. Right. So if you're found to be an infringer, then you have to pay the price, and melting the bunnies down was just a very unusual remedy. We wouldn't typically, court wouldn't order that in the United States, or at least I haven't heard of that.
Court ordered it. I think they suggested it.
Oh, well, I guess. So the court was trying to say, well, it's not a total loss.
I thought it was
The punishment fits the crime, though.
no,
So
the ruler suggested it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dr. Andrew, what are your thoughts?
Well, as a doctor, I part of me just kind of cringes a little bit knowing that like there's candy being marketed to kids as cute little bunnies. So part of me is happy that they got ordered to be melted down. But I totally agree with what's already been said here, right? Like if you're a business, you want to protect your IP. And I think knowing that the courts are behind you and that whatever you do produce and put out there in the market, you can own and you'll be protected. So, not much more to add, but I do agree with everything that's been said.
I like your point that we're teaching our kids to eat little bunnies.
Well,
Little
if you're trying to create a vegan society, where does this lead? Right? I mean, where's the rabbit I had when I was 12 years old? I want some rabbit. So anyway, well,